Thank you for tuning in. You're now listening to
Deliberately Woke.
We have a lot to talk about.
Let's get into it.
So, my family is Caribbean. I'm Haitian. That's what I rep. I'm Haitian, a few other things. But Creole is one of the funniest languages on earth. And I think more so it's like Caribbean people and like the emphasis that they put into telling stories or talking about someone. And I found that this makes them like the greatest roasters of all time.
Yes. It's an art form.
It truly is.
It's an art form.
There's just so much imagery involved. It can be very poetic, even down to just like the way that words sound and like the emphasis that people put on certain syllables that you know exactly what they mean. And it's like really hard also to like translate this into English because there's just like when you say certain things, it just doesn't land.
It doesn't have the same gusto.
No, and not
Not at all.
at all.
It's, yeah. Same here. Like, my family is from the Caribbean, Puerto Rican, and a few other things. But it's the same thing. Like, just the way they talk about people or strangers or this, this nosiness.
Yeah.
Like, chismoso in Spanish. Like, just being, like, just always alert and have to make comments on people
everybody,
on the street.
everywhere, all the time.
Or relatives, or, like, before you go to a party, you're like, okay, what insults am I going to get this time? Is my hair, like, not right? Or, like, you know... do I look bloated today?
Right. Am I too fat for this picture?
Am I
Like,
too
oh
skinny?
God, what are they gonna say? Oh my God, I know. I mean, and it's like it comes from a place like anybody can get it. It doesn't. It doesn't matter who you are.
I mean, it's kind of love. It's not.
I mean, like
it's fun shade.
You know, like from my mom to my grandmother, like making comments about people's shapes, my own shape, and like it's just like the wording. Like they'll be like, I was walking one day in front of my grandmother. She was walking behind me with her with my aunt, and I was walking with my goddaughter, and I hear her like casually talking about me in the background, and I'm expecting like, oh, I know my grandmother loves me. She's proud of my accomplishments and all. Oh yes, I visit like where she lives a few times a year, so it's always a good time to see her. She's like talking about me, and I'm thinking it's gonna be like sweet what she's saying, and she's like, wow, Ariel really does not have an ass.
Yeah.
It's just totally flat.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's a casual conversation. It's not like she's like laughing and pointing like, hey.
Yeah.
She's just like making comments. And it's like, if I were to, I mean, I guess I could turn around and be like, whatever, like back off. But it's almost like these things you like learn to live with these insults. But you're right. It's like a comment on everything living thing. Everybody that passes by. I mean, we could be driving in a car and like comment on the person in the far corner that shouldn't be wearing those pants.
Because of their body is like some kind of deformity or something. So I'm like, this person's living. This is what they look like. Or like what
do you want?
Or like they're like, oh my God, her ass is so flat it looks like she got hit 5 times with the frying pan. It's like, what are you talking about?
So she has a concave body.
Exactly. It's kind of like it's indented.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It's just like these type of comments that are just like
it's so Mean Girl style too, and they're like offering like advice to people that they don't know, that nobody asked for their advice, but they continue to dole it out. It does not matter at all.
No, and it's part of, and it's very descriptive and very, like, there's a lot of imagery there. And it's like, I don't know, it's just so different. I mean, it's like, and like you were saying, translating them into English.
It's not.
It just doesn't have the same kind of, like, imagery and, like, description. Land. And I guess because English is just more direct and dry, I think. It's just like, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's just something. But then also, like, they have no filter, too. Like
I
when you
know.
bring, like I'm always concerned bringing people over, like friends and people that just don't know my family, because I'm like, oh my god, they're like really raw. they'll tell you right how it is, and they'll just be like, listen, hey, I'm helping you out by telling you, you look like shit or you shouldn't
Yeah.
be wearing that.
Yeah, and
I'm helping you out. Like
Yeah,
I'm
it's
looking out for
I
you.
didn't even ask you.
Exactly.
I wasn't concerned. I liked the way I looked.
Yeah.
I chose to wear this crop top outside.
Exactly, yeah.
I didn't ask you if my belly's too
Yeah,
big for it.
exactly.
And you
But they
commenting
feel,
on the
yeah.
whole day.
The whole day, yeah.
That will be the discussion.
It
it's
is.
like this. It's so ridiculous because it's like mad superficial. Like this will be the topic in the conversation.
Yeah.
Did you see what so and so wore to the thing?
Yep.
Oh wow, she looked.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. No, and that's
Yeah.
exactly it. Or like exactly, and then give just unwanted comments or feedback. And it's like the whole day, exactly. And then as the people come to the party or the event, they're like, oh my God, did
Yeah.
you see
Or the worst-
so and so's guest?
Yeah.
Like and she's wearing that
Yeah.
and eating.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Oh,
what is she supposed to do? Like, let her be. She's okay with her
Or
body.
have you ever been sitting at like a table and the person is there and they'll start talking a different language because they don't understand it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then you have
Yeah.
to be like, have a straight face and be like, please don't talk to me about this. The person's right there and they
Yeah.
know that we're talking about
I mean, sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. But I kind of like that.
ridiculous. Yeah. Because,
yeah.
because here's the thing, like as bad as it may feel, like I mean, it's part of you. This is what happens.
yeah.
I mean, I talk to my brother about this all the time. He's like, yeah, I think I'm pretty good at roasting people because of mom and dad, like just the things
Yeah,
that they say. And they're always
exactly.
funny when they don't mean to be funny.
Yeah.
And they're just simply commenting like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But she's wearing it.
Exactly.
I should be able to comment
Yeah,
on
because she
this.
decided
Yeah.
to come out like that.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. Like I will not disclose who this person is. But I will never forget like going through a toll with a family member and them looking at the appearance of the person at the toll booth and then us driving off and them being like, wow, her face looks like somebody took a small chair and smashed it. A small chair. Like, what in the world? Or like, it'll be like, I'm describing somebody like, I had a friend by, I'll call him Joe, by the friend of Joe. And my mom is like, I'm like, oh, I saw Joe today. I only know one Joe. There's only one Joe. She's like, oh, who? Big Fat Joe? And it's like,
Yeah.
there's only one Joe. Why did you have to go into this description, this horrible description of him? Like, geez, let the person live. It's just like, it's exhausting.
Or the
Like,
ugly one, like stuff like this.
that's
Ugly Joe? Is that who
yeah.
Ugly Joe?
Oh yeah, no, the other Joe. Like, there's only one Joe.
Yeah.
Like, you just wanted to make this comment to let us know you think Joe is ugly. Like,
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly.
But it's like, it goes to this like idea of like, I feel like Caribbean families like are never satisfied. Like,
No.
because as much as you can be insulted for one thing, let you change like to the opposite of that. And everybody all of a sudden, like, you were too fat before, now you're too
Exactly.
skinny and you're dying and you're sick. And
Well, they also
there's
like
a rumor.
complaining's a hobby.
Yeah, well,
in Caribbean
yeah. Oh,
families. Like, let's be real.
yeah,
It's
like, we
a-
commiserate together
It's
about
like,
nothing.
yeah, it's just like that's one of our hobbies. It's just always complaining. It's the same thing. Like, when you invite people, I always get weary because I'm like, if you're not familiar or used to Caribbean families, it could be harsh,
Word.
and it's like, are they bringing the right gift or
Yeah.
the gift is
Oh.
too cheap?
Oh,
or
Lord.
like, oh, where'd they get this? Like,
I
I remember
mean-
one time, one of my friends brought wine to my mom's house and she was like, oh, they got this from like CVS.
Oh,
for
damn.
$3.99. I was like,
No,
well, it's
it's
the
something.
thought that counts. They're like,
At least
should have
it's
just brought
something.
nothing, like,
Yeah,
it's like
I mean,
this.
at least it's something. My mom will be like, she'll be like, oh, cheap.
Exactly. But then in front of them, be like, oh my God,
this is the
my
best.
favorite. And
Yeah.
then when they leave, throw it out and
Yeah.
be like, oh, we can't even cook with
I
this.
know. So mad. Wow, they really thought we were going to eat this. It's like, okay. They didn't have to bring shit. But at least these people brought something. I'll never forget an ex of mine didn't bring
Yeah.
didn't bring.
Yeah.
I mean, like the first time he was meeting my family, and I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to explain this to you.
Yikes.
It's like
it's a different culture.
Yeah,
I
the
guess.
next time I had to be like, bring something. Like I don't know, I brought flowers from your mom. Like I come bearing gifts. This is how.
No, that's what I mean. That's what you do. But maybe that's just a Caribbean thing.
I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know if it's just Caribbean because I do have an African friend that says like, her family will talk.
Of course.
Talk crap about somebody that doesn't come like properly.
Yeah.
I mean, like I guess the idea is like, what can you even do for my daughter or whoever if you can't even.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's also like back to you said like this obsession with being hypercritical too.
Yeah.
Because it will last beyond that moment, even after they get to know. I'll never forget when I first met you and you brought this sheep thing or you didn't bring anything.
Or how you dress when they're first meeting a friend or a partner. Like that, all things is like, oh.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Where'd you get that? I remember
people will just look. That's the worst if people don't say anything.
My aunt, one of my cousins said, "Where did you find her in Rainbow?"
Oh,
the store.
No.
And it's like that's an insult. It's like, damn.
Yeah,
it's like
mean girl
or
style.
wearing that to like Christmas. A short dress.
You better come correct at a wedding
it's like,
too.
Wow. It's like, oh, we're getting ready for the strip club for Jesus' birthday, It's like, so those type of things, but they're never satisfied because then if they dress the other way, they look like a vieja or something, like there's always,
it is hard, but I find myself doing it too. It's like, I'm
very nosy.
I mean,
I do.
I know you do. I know you do. I mean, I went to a wedding where somebody was just dressed. I thought that they worked there. And I mean, it was my job to be like, I thought they worked here. I didn't think I thought they came to help out and were going to change at least if they were part of the party. Like, oh my God. But it's not just me. Like, I remember like the person who was getting married was like, hell no, I'm not taking a picture with this person. Like, do you see what they're wearing? And of course they said this in Creole to our family, like, no. This is outrageous. How could you come like this?
Oh my God, yeah. No, that's true too. Those big events too, the judgment and the
it's a show.
The insults.
It's your debut every time.
Yeah.
It's your
it's
chance.
just insane. Yeah. And like just roasting, family members, partners. And like my family's super mixed. Like there are people that married outside of like where we're from and stuff. So like those people get the brunt of it.
Of course. They're like, oh my God, the names. Oh man, that made me think of, oh Lord. Exactly. I don't even know if I can. There's one in-law that they call, oh my God, it doesn't even sound right when you translate it, but they call the head of the toe. Oh. That their head looks like a toe.
Oh my God.
Like a big toe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, wow, like this is the person's nickname. Or better yet, I had so it's messed up. It's all so bad. Like I had one of my cousins was dating this woman who her nickname became Koshu, which means crooked. And they'd be like, oh yeah, where's crooked? Oh, they're here. Oh, okay. And of course, crooked doesn't know that this is what her nickname is. And I'm just like, damn, this is so messed up. And my cousin knew it too, that everyone's calling her this, and it's just like.
But crooked, why? Because of her looks?
I don't know what was. Yeah, well, definitely because of her looks. It wasn't because she was a crooked-natured person.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering what was crooked on her.
I know.
Teeth or like,
I think it was teeth and like something about her face wasn't symmetrical.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't have like an illness or anything as far as what I know. I mean, but it's terrible because it wouldn't matter, unfortunately.
Of course.
They would just still be like, yeah, well, they are crooked and they have this thing too. And
they call one of my cousin's husbands Potato Head.
Say it in Spanish because it's better.
So like,
Say it in Spanish. It's better. It's way better.
No, cara de potate.
It's better. Like, I feel the emphasis.
But it's like
the power.
Yeah, it's a funny it's funny, and it's just like these people, they're just the comments that they have and like making a serious face or like complaining. That too, I always think about like going out to eat. I hate doing that with my family because like they complain about everything.
I know, same.
And it's like, come on,
I
these
know.
people are serving you.
Yeah, I know.
You
Like,
gotta
let's be kind.
you gotta tread lightly.
No, I don't want this. I want it this way.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, why would they think
Yeah.
that I wanted it this way that I didn't say
Yeah,
before?
exactly.
They should know.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
No, I think exactly. That's exactly. I hate going out with them because there's always criticism about what we order, or
The worst is complaining about food after you ate it, right?
someone in my family always, and I don't know if it's because like the English was a second language for them, but they would be like, "I want hot this," or "I want this." Like hot food, and it's like you don't have
I
to
know
say
what you. I
this,
know.
'cause it's
I
like,
want it hot.
it's
My dad says this all the time.
It's implied,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my god, this.
He's
this,
like, they don't always bring it out.
Yeah, they're like, can I have an iced tea and please make it sure it's iced tea and like cold, and it's like these kind of like descriptive things. And the person's like, yeah, I mean, obviously,
Yeah, it's like,
I'm not gonna serve it. But like that is just like with eating and stuff too. I hate all those things, but I think like the just complaining I find, and I find myself doing it too.
I mean, I do.
But I feel like it's a hobby. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a pastime.
or
to
even us, I
complain.
mean, like the nosiness and just like, you know,
Yeah.
having eye contact with you're terrible at
I
this
am
in
horrible.
meetings. You'll be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
your
I know.
eyes will
I
get
have no
huge
poker face.
and look at me, and I can't.
No.
Once I start to crack a smile, I'm busting out laughing. So I cannot look
Yeah,
at
no.
people.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're just like with your eyes. Do you hear? Did you see? And I'm like, yes, of course I saw.
I have no poker face. I just am like I react to things.
Oh my god!
I have no poker
It's
face.
passed down.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'll be watching a conversation happening, and I should like not be like listening. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on?
That's
What's gonna
crazy.
happen
Maybe
next?
Shake your head.
I'm like, oh no, what's going on? I mean, it's just like it's what I was taught.
I mean, it's helped us know a lot of things about people, just listening and hearing
Yeah.
conversations, things you wouldn't know about people. Like,
And I think it makes you more intuitive and like,
Oh,
you know, get a sense of people and makes you more, you know, more friendly kind of around people.
you're on
so-
your feet.
Yeah, you're just kind of like, you know, looking around, seeing what's going on, you know, what's going on in people's lives, you know? So I
love
own it.
people watching. That is
too.
I know mad people love people watching. And
Yeah.
like just sitting on a bench. But
Yeah.
I do create scenarios too. If somebody's like in my view for a long time, I'm like,
Yeah, me too.
I know their life now.
Yeah.
Like,
I
this
mean,
is-
whatever I made
created-
up.
Yeah,
Whatever
well,
I
of
made
course.
up
I
for
mean,
their life.
it's from
Yeah.
my imagination, and it must be. And I'm very intuitive, so I know these things.
Yeah.
So that's the story. Oh my gosh! But I love it. I love curse words in other languages,
Mm-hmm.
especially just like we were talking about the imagery and the way these things are put together. You can't. You
Yeah.
can't do this in English. Other people can't do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's totally different. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And I think it's also part of the culture. And I like, I mean, I feel like it's part of who we are and things that,
Absolutely.
you know, it's kind of annoying, but I'm kind of happy that it's like, I still have a little bit of it.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
but it helps you get through too.
Yeah.
Like through the day. And also like you form like, I mean, my friendships with my cousins are built on like
Yeah. Roasting each other or each
roasting
other.
each other.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I have, you know, I used to be like the ringleader for a while of some of my
Yeah.
cousins with the nicknames I would, and they still like remember them. We still talk about it, all of our stories growing up. Like, you know, it makes you have a
Exactly.
closer bond. Or even if you're roasting another family member that's mad
course.
annoying.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the guy that does this all the time. The dude, the DJ who's always DJing and ruining events.
Or the
but,
cousin
like,
that's
yeah.
the jack of all trades, the master of none, you know, and has no
Yeah.
has no career or
that's this one.
anything.
I
like,
know.
oh yeah, he's a computer engineer
Yeah.
this week.
Or the one with mad kids, the one with like 6 kids who's
6,
like,
my God, that's
yeah.
low for my
Yeah.
family.
but like all the aunts are mad bold. They're like, ugh,
Yeah.
you're horrible. Like you shouldn't be dating anybody else. What's wrong with you? You need to be like snipped. Like
Yeah.
just the blatant, like, I'm going to be blunt with you. Like you are just disgraceful. Fix this. Move on.
Yeah, and exactly, and all their baby mamas that come, they get the brunt. I feel bad for them because they didn't ask. I mean, they didn't ask for
Some
this.
of them, I mean,
You know?
these ones that they had to know after this long. I mean, if you have kids a certain age, like above 20, and then you just having a new one on the way, the other person, like, I think these women know. I don't know why they're stuck on these guys though.
I don't
There's
know.
always a few like this in the family who get mad girls, and you're
A
like,
lot of
how?
them. Yeah, I
How?
have a few
How?
relatives like that, and I don't understand. They
Yeah.
don't even work. I don't understand. But
These ones have to work, but it's almost pointless because if if they're taking the child support away, like I know somebody who's like,
I mean,
it's like 1 cent their paycheck after this whole thing. It's terrible.
God.
It's terrible. That's another story.
That is another
I know.
story.
We'll get into
That
the
is another
gossip is
story.
like
Woof.
this is half of like the fun
Yeah.
part of being Caribbean. It's like
Exactly.
just the way you talk.
I'm
about
telling you,
things and-
I tell my family, I think there should be a freaking soap opera
Oh,
on
yeah.
like My Family or
Oh.
some kind of drama show because we wouldn't even have to like dramatize
I mean, the things
stories.
Once you're like, what? Every time I'm like hearing something about some dissing. Oh yeah,
Yeah, the stories are insane.
they've ran off with the German man to wherever, and you're like, what? Who is this person too? I didn't even know this was my cousin. This person.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, well they were your cousin because actually so and so had a kid, and
Yeah,
nobody wanted to say anything.
exactly.
And you're like, oh shit, like
Exactly, it's an ocean of secrets.
Yeah, it's
It's an ocean of secrets.
It's just continually rising. Yeah,
It's just
you'll
like,
never
no.
get to the bottom of what
you
really,
you
yeah.
really don't want to.
Yeah, I know,
though.
because then when you that's why you're like, I don't want to know anymore.
I just don't wanna
Don't
know.
tell me. Call me when something good happens.
Yeah.
I'll be at the next wedding maybe because there's gonna be drama. All right.
I can't. I get the rundown before every event who has beef with each
Oh,
other and
yeah,
stuff. And it's
same.
like, I'm exhausted. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I don't want to go.
Yeah, then you're like in a mood afterwards.
like-
like, how could they? Or I'll get really, I'll be like, oh my God. Because sometimes you'll get into the drama that's not yours and you're like, yeah, I'm on this person's side who I didn't even talk to about this event.
Or you don't
Like, and
even
I'm-
really know that well.
And
but
I'm
you're
not,
like,
or I'm not supposed to know, but secretly I'm like, yes, I'm rooting for you because this was messed up. What
Yeah.
happened? Like,
there's always that. Like, there's always team this and team that with the
Mm-hmm.
family drama. But you have to run through because also the seating is according to that. And like, if your mom or dad doesn't talk to this person, but then you talk to them, like you're guilty by association because it's like, yo, we're not talking to them, so you shouldn't even acknowledge this person.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay,
I don't know.
it's
I
hard.
hate what's worse is like, at least that would be direct. Like, we don't fuck with them. But no, it's always like, I don't fuck with them, but you have to fuck with them. In my family, like you have to talk to them.
No, you have to. Yeah, you have to say
be
hi.
polite. You can't be rude. Or,
But it's also
or
a-
they'll hear
a-
that you were angry.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I was angry for you.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want?
It's a level of like engagement though, and you have to navigate. I mean, that's how
Yeah.
my family events
Yeah,
are.
you keep it
Like everyone
cordial.
has beef or like
Yeah.
something, or they'll make a snarky comment. It's
Yeah.
like, it's exhausting. I
God.
hate family
I
events.
know for a while, like I was being sent as like the representative for my family.
That's fun.
It's not.
That's fun.
I'd
You
be
get all like, oh, I
okay.
haven't seen this person
me, I'm
in
the-
5 years.
Yeah, and they'll be or people that I really don't know because I haven't seen them since I was a baby, and I'm like, I have no real memory of you. I'll never forget this woman, like supposedly a family member, coming up to me and being like, "Oh my God, you look like your mom. Is she still pretty or is she ugly now?"
Oh my God.
And it's like, bitch. What do you want? Oh yeah, my mom. First
She's
of all, my mom.
hideous.
Yeah, like you think that's what I was gonna say? No, my mom looks gorgeous. Like, and screw you. Now I don't like you. I feel a certain way. Like, who?
But
are
it's
you?
also because she probably has some kind of feeling
Yeah,
for your
like-
mom.
yeah, yeah,
and like
yeah.
a chip
I'm
on her
like,
shoulder,
well,
and then she
yeah,
does
of
those
course,
insults,
of course.
and it's ridiculous.
It's like, there's some. I guess there's some. Daughters and sons who would be like, oh yeah, like and be into it, but
Yeah.
I'm not the like, because I'm Caribbean, but I'm also like my father's child who doesn't have time for this nonsense.
Yeah.
So I get pissed off real
Or
fast.
saying like about a close relative of yours, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they think they're better than everyone
And you're
else, or
like-
like, oh, how's the Miss Princess? And
Yeah.
it's like, ooh,
Oh yeah.
it's like, ooh, that I don't want to hear this.
Yeah, at
Like,
all.
like,
At all.
This
Don't
is
say
not.
this. Don't say
yeah.
this about my family member.
Exactly.
Don't say that. I'm pissed.
And that's what I feel like. That's like kind of like playing Battleship because you'll get those comments. At least when I go to events where like I'm the representative from my family, and it's like I don't engage. Like I ignore a lot of people.
I sometimes I'll make like a hello.
Yeah,
And then
from a
I'm-
distance.
Yeah, and then I'm gone. Then I'm linking with one of my cousins and
Yeah.
like also hiding.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. That's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
But in our that's another thing. Custom, you have to say hello and goodbye to everyone.
Oh, I
at
know.
The party.
Otherwise, you are just the shame.
You're
Yeah.
like you
Disgrace.
have no exactly.
Yeah.
You have exactly. You have no class.
Yeah. Oh,
Your
yeah.
family
Yeah.
just raised you to be like you might as well be in jail
then your
or
grandmother's
something.
in the background, like, oh my
Yeah.
God, the shame on our family
Yeah,
name
exactly.
now. Yeah.
And I hate that so much because
just-
like. Ugh. But yeah, you have to say hi and
yeah.
goodbye to everyone, even people you don't know.
Yeah.
Hold a baby or two. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of things.
Come do this. Come. They want to see you. Come serve food. Come do this. Come do that.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Can I just sit in the corner and drink something?
I mean, you can't. You have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be about it and do what they say. Otherwise. Otherwise, you get in trouble. Then the way that they ask you, if you're not embarrassed about things, just shames you. Like, the shame is very heavy. The guilt that they put on people is very, very heavy.
No, exactly. And then it goes on to your family. Like, oh, they didn't raise you right. Oh, that's because, oh, they're raising you like this. Or you're too white. You know, all these things. Like,
I feel bad for my cousins that had, experienced rough times. And everyone's like, yeah. That one, let's talk shit forever about that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Please move on. What about your child?
Well,
because we know what's going on.
Well, that's something too. They're always deflecting.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
Their child's the best.
Yeah.
And then like it's like I feel like that all the time. Like it's a battle between siblings.
That too.
Of what kid is better or the most successful, richest, prettiest, all these things, and it's like exhausting. I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't care.
Yeah, I know. None of us like this. The cousins don't want this.
No.
Stop talking about your kid doing this thing. We we love each other. We don't have to do this.
Exactly.
We don't have to do
just
this.
like exactly, but we're also not competing.
I know for
Like,
what?
I don't compete with any of my cousins at all.
The Olympics of who?
Exactly, and it's like,
who do the
did
elders like best?
He went here, and and I'm like, okay, like this is ridiculous.
I mean, parents will always be proud of their children's accomplishment, but it's different. It's more like rubbing in the face.
Jab, or they'll be like, oh, so and so did this, and like. Did you even finish high school? Like comments like that you'll hear. They know the answer. It's like being shady.
Oh, well, no, that's another thing. I hate that about
shady.
Caribbean families, like asking questions
that they know the answer to.
You already know the answer to. Why are you doing this? You want to infuriate me now. It's like you want to fight. Yeah. You want to fight.
They're like, so-and-so, oh, he's over 30, right? Or this, and like...
Oh, yeah.
He still lives with you? Oh. You were there last week and you know this.
It's like, still no boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'll die
over 30,
I'll
right?
die before you ever get married. It's like, oh my God. I thought I was great for doing all these other things. It means nothing now. Yeah. We're on to the next form of life. You need to be married. If you're not, well, I guess I'll never see it. Don't do me. I'll just die.
Or the older cousin females that are not married, like relatives will be like, "Oh my God, your eggs are powder."
Oh my God, yeah.
And it's like Jesus Christ.
You're still gonna have kids? Oof. That's why I did it when I was this age. Like, ma'am, this was not planned. Okay, but that's the difference.
Exactly.
That's you. Gosh.
I know. It's just like that. All those things. I think it's funny. I mean, I'm proud of it. Yeah. I think it's a great, I think it's a great culture, and I think it's something that's just not it's just not shared enough, and like we're not like Caribbean people as a whole. We don't because we have different languages and we're from we have a little different customs, but there's like something that brings us all together.
Absolutely.
And I would love to see more stories of Caribbean families because every time I meet other Caribbean people, the similities just keep growing, and like it's
why we can relate to each other even though we grew up in different homes. Like why our cultures are similar. Like it's a huge part of it.
But yeah, no, I love having these conversations, and I think if you don't know about Caribbean culture, you should learn about it.
Absolutely.
And if you're Caribbean and you have some stories to share, let us know. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to us on all of our social channels and listen for new episodes every Thursday.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.